Let's deal with education, shall we? Teachers are ready to do their jobs, but the classrooms at the Kumasi Technical Institute is empty. That is the latest information 2 days after police clashed with students there. Parents and school authorities have accused the police of high-handedness, whilst the police, on the other hand, insist they acted professionally. In the meantime, the All Student Association of KTI and the National Union of Ghana Students have condemned what they describe as unprofessional conduct of the police. President of NUGS, Julian Kobina, and Adumako Befi, who is the Chief Justice of NUGS, will join me in the studio so that we can have a quick discussion. But let's go to the Ashanti region. Erastus Asari Donko has been following this story. He joins me with some updates. Hello, Erastus.
Yeah, Gifty.
Do we know the latest?
Yes, the latest is that school authorities have declared that academic activities should begin today. But when you go to the classrooms, they are all empty. There is no student there to be taught, though the lecturers are on campus and are ready to begin academic activity. And it is understandable because even as we were there, we saw some of the students who have just been discharged coming in to take some excuse duty or otherwise to continue further treatment at home. And so it wasn't possible for them to psychologically even psych themselves up at classrooms today. That's what is happening now.
We know that some parents were looking for their awards yesterday. Were they able to find them?
Yes, indeed. After the 35 students were released on bail from the police cells, we had many of the parents who were searching for them being able to find them. Some, however, had been through some beating, and so they had to be taken to the hospital for further treatment. So indeed, we met somebody who was an accident victim and was in one of the hotels when the police stormed the dormitory, and they subjected him to some beatings. And so he was there to seek an excuse duty to go home, get some further treatment, to be able to come back in about a month.
Okay, and do we know if the police, have been able to resolve the differences, for lack of a better word, with authorities of the school?
What I know and can confirm is that when I went to the hospital yesterday, I was told by the administrators that we have police commanders coming over to take statements of the students who were admitted. And so all the injured students had their statements written by the police, because we do understand the police are doing their own probe into the whole incident. And so that is what we do understand for now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Erastus Asari Donko. There has been following that clash of students at the KTI with the police in the Ashanti region. Like I said, Julian Kobina, who is president of the National Union of Ghana Students, and Adumako Befi, they join me here in the studio. You're welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. Okay, let's start with what's you have sent, you brought in the press release and you're condemning the police. Is that a justifiable position to take for a start when there have been issues, when the police have said that these students were engaged the police in ways that they shouldn't have?
Absolutely. First, who are these students you're talking about? These are senior high students. Some of them were actually in the dormitories when they were attacked by the police personnel. Some of them were not even, at the time of the incident were going on, they were not even present. So
if you could speak up a bit.
Some of them were not even present when the incident was actually going on. And so this is what should happen in the process. These students went for a sport competition. They qualified for the 2000. They were so excited, and as young people, in the course of the celebration, they blocked the road. And then the police came in to probably to solve the traffic scenario.
Is it as simple as the way you put it? Have you really heard the details? Do you know the details?
Yeah, I'm so much informed about this. And so this is a very simple matter. And then some of the students, a handful of them actually attacked, assaulted the police officers. But you can't say that all of them. And so they ran away. Some of them went into the dormitories. The police followed them to their various dormitories and even attacked those that were even part of the incident. It's very unfair for young people. Some of them are 15, 16 to have gone through this there's very unfair assault by the police.
Do you know that they pelted the police with stones?
Yeah, so the question now is who qualifies with the
Some of the students.
Very good. So do you have to assault all of them because you think that some of them actually pelted the police? That's the problem. And that these are minors, and so if you actually deal with them, you should have expected that it's some bit of professionalism in the way you go about it, where you don't actually attack them as if they are rebels, and these are just students.
Have you engaged, has NUGS engaged, let me throw this question to you, Mr. Mako, has NUGS engaged the police on this matter before you decided to put in your press release condemning their conduct?
Honestly, we have in a way, not directly. But the truth is, when we went on, I went to Kumasi yesterday, and I went to speak to some of the students. It's quite sad that they are dramatized by the whole situation, because the thing is, they were beaten up. Some were even admitted at the hospital. Now, what we are just trying to do is, first and foremost, we are taking a stand to condemn them, because we have to note that their human rights, their fundamental human rights, were violated by the police.
But did they not violate the human rights? Let me bring that question to you, Julian. Did they not violate the rights of because the police has got the right to do their job? You don't obstruct the police from doing their job and expect to go scot-free. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, so I'm trying to explain to you what actually happened that very fateful day. So these were students who were celebrating their victory in a sports competition and have qualified for the super zonal competition. And some of them actually, in the course of the celebration, have caused a traffic. Now the police came in to salvage the scenario of the traffic. And then some of the students actually pelted some police personnel. You don't assume that all of them were involved in the process. And so what the police did, to have beaten them and followed some of them to the dormitories. Those that were not even at the venue of the incident were even assaulted in the process. Their rights as Guinean students, their rights not to be violated because they were not part of the people, the mob, should have been respected. No, the student has got a block called the Readiness Houses. The Readiness House block called as they actually have spoken to the prefect, and those that were even detained by the prefect of KTI. Some of them were not even at the place where they even.
But the police is investigating the matter, we understand. What is the next expectation of the outcome, and what action have you intended to take? Yeah, regardless of how the outcome.
The Ministry of Education, the government says that they are putting up a committee to investigate both the police conduct and the students' conduct. We at the student level, he's also chairing a committee to also investigate the student conduct. You've known that from your correspondence that even the students are not even attending classes. Yeah. So what we want to do is to meet them and talk to them and then encourage them to go back to class, because some of them are pretty traumatized because there's fear. They are scared about their own lives. They are also in solidarity with their colleagues that were assaulted by the police.
So is it for real that they are scared, or they are in solidarity with their colleagues who were detained?
Some of them are scared. I mean, some of the prefects that were actually assaulted by the police who were not part of the mob action are scared. Some of them are also doing that in solidarity with their colleagues. That they are our friends. We were in dormitory with them. The police just walked in. Some of them are 16 years, 15 years. Assaulted by the police personnel, and so in solidarity with them, and they are trying to show that they are very much innocent of what actually happened that very day. And we are asking that the police service, if needs be, have to indict those people, those service personnel of theirs that are actually involved in this particular event. I think it's very unfair.
Maybe they should be interdicted, you mean?
Absolutely.
Whilst the investigation by the Ministry of Education goes on, the NUGS position is that the police persons who were involved with this class should be interdicted.
Absolutely. That's why we put up a committee at the student level to make sure that we also have a true account of the scenario that happened that day. We don't want to have some sort of a biased report from the committee that is investigating this matter, because we need to defend our students. We think that most of them actually in this event are very innocent of the charges that have been brought before them, and they are also innocent of actually what happened and the assault. And so we are saying that as a students' union, we are in solidarity with the students. We are condemning the conduct of the police service in the event of the assault of these students, and we also asking that the police service, in the course of the inquiry, indicts some of their personnel that actually went on this very unprofessional goose chase. So That's actually the pit and marrow of our case.
Of your case. Okay. Well, this is still a developing story, and so we'll be following up with the police, and we'll see how that investigation by the ministry goes, and we'll be eager to know what you find by the student committee that you say you have set up to investigate the students. Is that correct?
Yes,
Investigate the students.
Okay.
We'll look forward to seeing what that brings up. But I've been speaking with Julian Kobna. Julian Kobna is the president of the National Union of Ghana Students. Some people, by the way, have said that NUGS has lost its relevance. That's a discussion we'll have another day. But thank you very much, gentlemen, and Mr. Adumako Beifi as well for passing through. We've been talking to the National Union of Ghana Students. They are vehemently, they're not excited. They're not happy about how the police deals with students of KTI in Kumasi. Well, away from that, 2 people have been killed this afternoon in an accident on the Techimai-Sunyai Road when a Toyota Land Cruiser collided with an urban passenger bus near Insuta. Some are in critical condition, whilst others, including MP for Kintampo South, sustained both minor injuries. He was on his way, apparently, to witness the Council of State voting process that was ongoing in the Bunahafo region. We'll be touching base with our Bunahafo regional correspondent for more on that particular story. We're still putting in efforts to reach Bunahafo regional correspondent Anas Sabit for more on this story. What we can say for a fact, by the way, at this point is that 2 people have been killed in that accident, and the member of parliament for Kintampo South only sustained minor injuries. Very soon, the sports team will be taking over, but in the Tamale Teaching Hospital, doctors at that hospital have withdrawn their services. They are threatening only to return when their working conditions improve. The nurses complain they lack regular water flow at the theatre. They sometimes have to make do with expired drugs in the theatre. They're also unhappy over unpaid allowances owed them.